How's it going, everyone? Simon here from CD Revival, and thanks to everyone who tuned in last week, saw my entire CD collection. Today we're going to carry on with just a bit more of an in-depth look at some of the stuff beginning with S, and we'll get on with that today. We've done a few bits of theirs, a couple of videos so far, and today we will continue. So the first one I have got is this one, which is D. Snyders For the Love of Metal. Quite a fan of D. Snyders stuff, obviously with Twisted Sister and his solo stuff like Widowmaker, for example, and his stuff that's just like credited to himself. This one came out in 2018, I think, by the looks of it, and it's a good album, a good solid metal album, really. No major surprises, nothing that's going to blow your mind, but still well worth a listen. Key tracks, probably the first one, Lies Are a Business, is really good. For the Love of Metal, American Made, I Am the Hurricane, things like that. So yeah, if you're a fan of Twisted Sister and D. Snyder in general, then definitely give that one a listen. That is pretty good. Next we have a couple from Shadows Fall, band I'm not overly familiar with, but I have got a couple of theirs. This one, Madness in Manila. This is live in the Philippines, 2009. So yeah, that one there, 2 CDs. Oh, CD and a DVD actually. So not overly familiar with their stuff, so we'll have to check that out. This one is The Art of Balance. This comes with a bonus CD-ROM, so all good stuff. But yeah, not familiar with their stuff at all, to be honest with you. Something my brother gave me that, once again, I really badly need to check out. So those two there. Next we have Stone Temple Pilots. I'm a fan of theirs, quite honestly. Their first album, Core, probably my favourite of theirs. It's got Plush on it, which is a really good song. Dead and Bloated, Sex Type Thing, etc. But yeah, of the grunge bands, so-called grunge bands, these are one of my favourites, to be honest with you. Probably behind Alice in Chains and, I don't know, maybe Nirvana on a good day. 1992, this one came out. I do prefer them to like Pearl Jam, for example. But yeah, Core is their first album, and do enjoy that one quite a lot. Still listen to that. I've listened to that recently. Really good. Then I've got this one, which is pretty much Purple, I believe it's called, even though it doesn't actually say that anywhere on it. But yeah, a good album, this one as well. Very enjoyable. Not sure when this one came out, not that long afterwards, but that's a really good one. And then I've got this one, which is a later album. I think after they split up and reformed, this is like 2011 or something like that. Just entitled Stone Temple Pilots, so self-titled. But yeah, some good stuff on there as well. Not quite as good as the first two. They've obviously done other ones as well. But some really good stuff on there too. So well worth a listen. Next band is Shotgun Messiah. They were originally called Kingpin. They were a super glammy band to begin with. This is their first album, which I think when it was released as Kingpin was called Welcome to Bop City, which is the first track on here as well, which is an excellent track. Really, really good album. Once again, this is another one which I've listened to in the last week or so, actually. But yeah, Bop City, Don't Care About Nothing, super really good track. Squeezing T's in, this gives you a bit of a clue as to what they're. Yeah, very, very glammy. Nowhere Fast is really cool. The Explorer is like an instrumental, like the Harry K. Cody, the guitarist on here, is superb, and he really shows off his chops on that track, sounding very Steve Vai-esque. Dirt Talk's another really good track. But yeah, the first one says very glammy. There's Zinny San on vocals at the time. It's the only album he does vocals on. and he's not the greatest vocalist, but Tim Skold had taken over by the second album, which I'll show you in a second. Shout It Out was quite a big track on MTV at the time. It's a bit of a rappy one, very similar to, well, Don't Change That Song by Faster Pussycat in a way, and it's sort of rappy, not really, kind of Beastie Boys-esque kind of. Anyway, really good album. If you like glam rock, this one is a must to listen to. It's really, really good. Their second album is a little bit more grown up, I suppose. Slightly less glammy, but still got some catchy stuff on it, like Heartbreak Boulevard and Live Without You and Sex, Drugs, Rock and Roll. Say Tim Skold does the vocals on this pretty much, and yes, probably slightly better. This one's difficult to get hold of nowadays. Goes for, reasonable money if you can pick it up. But yeah, still it's a bit more. So it's quite a long album, 13 tracks on it, and some really good stuff on here, which is once again well worth checking out. Very enjoyable. And then I've got their third album, Violent New Breed, which is kind of gone a bit industrial on this one, and it's really still a really, really cool album. Well worth listening to. It's a lot heavier than the first two, and so it has got that sort of industrial vibe going on, which I do like. Things like I'm a Gun, Come Down, Violent New Breed, Enemy in Me, they're all really, really, yeah. It's a very good album, but once again, difficult to get hold of these days. And you will part with decent money if you want to pick it up. So, but worth checking out. I think this one as well, you can't even, I don't think it's on Amazon Music. I don't know about other streaming services because I don't use other streaming services, but on Amazon you can't even hear this one. So, yeah, might be probably YouTube or something to check that one out, but well worth hunting down. What else have we got next? Santana, Black Magic Woman, the best of. This is probably a charity shop find. I haven't got loads of Santana, but I do quite enjoy his guitar playing, his style. This one obviously has got things like Black Magic Woman on it and Jingo and their famous tracks such as that. So Oye Como Va. So that's pretty cool. And I've got this one, Supernatural, which was a massive hit. Clive Davis produced this one famously, who was, I believe, Whitney Houston's producer, amongst others. So yeah, massive hit for him with Smooth. The big hit was from this as well. But yeah, cool album. What else have we got here? Snoop Dogg, Snoop Doggy Dogg as he was then called. This is his first album, Doggy Style. As you know, if you've watched my channel, I am a bit of a fan of hip hop, especially old school hip hop. And yeah, Snoop Dogg, his older stuff is really, really cool. This album is an absolute classic. Obviously, Gin and Juice is on here. But yeah, loads of, it's just a classic album, start to finish, really, really good. We have this one, Da Game Is To Be Sold and Not To Be Told. So yeah, this one came out in who knows when, 1998, so a bit of a newer one than that one, but still really good. Now we have a couple from Simply Red, which I'm not really a fan of Simply Red, if I'm being honest. These were kind of make weights, kind of buy 3 or 4 for £1 or what have you. And this was one of those. This is Life. This has got Fairground on it, which I do know. Remembering the First Time, which I do know. Not really listened to the rest of it. I don't hate Simply Red, but I don't love Simply Red. But anyway, that's that one. And another one of theirs I have got, looks like I am a fan of theirs, but this is a double CD. This is basically their greatest hits, or it's called the greatest hits. So it's got everything that you would expect on there. So, but yeah, not a big fan of theirs, but you can chuck it on when you're with someone that doesn't necessarily want to listen to the kind of shit that I generally listen to. Great Adventures of Slick Rick next, another old school hip hop one. This is the remaster, one of the Def Jam remasters. This is pretty good. He obviously started off and was doing stuff with Doug E. Fresh, and this is his solo album, first solo album. Yeah, it's pretty good. He's a good storyteller, good rhymes, good old school stuff. I won't say the song titles because some of them are a little bit, you know, but it's got Children's Story on it, which is a classic one of his. Simple Minds next, New Gold Dream from them. This one's got Promised You a Miracle on it. Glittering Prize. Pretty decent album from the early 80s. When did it actually come out? Will it tell me? Without me having to get a microscope out. Probably no. Yeah, who knows. Early 80s, let's just go with that and be done with it. But yeah, not their best album, but still pretty decent. This one I think is their best album. This is Once Upon a Time. This has got all the big hits from the 80s on it. Once Upon a Time, All the Things She Said, which I really like. Ghost Dancing, Alive and Kicking, Sanctify Yourself were the big singles from this. So yeah, that's that album. Really I do enjoy that one quite a lot. And then I got this one, Live in the City of Light. This was a charity shop one as well, which I was quite happy because I do like a fat box with 2 CDs, especially when you're paying only £1 for it or something. So that's pretty good. And this has got, yeah, all the ones I previously mentioned. It's got Waterfront on it as well. But yeah, 2 CDs of decent music. Back to the metal again, Soulfly. This is their first album. Got this when it came out. Obviously Max Cavalera left Sepultura. This is the sort of limited version with the black see-through CD cover and what have you. But pretty decent, heavy stuff, similar to what Sepultura were banging out before he left. But it's just got, yeah, Eye for an Eye, etc. on it. But yeah, pretty good album, decent. And this one is Primitive, also Soulfly. I think this might be their 3rd album, but I could be talking bullshit. But yeah, that's that one there. Not as familiar with that album, to be honest. We have this one, Sunset Ibita, another charity shop kind of one that I picked up. 2 CDs. Does what it says on the tin, but it's got some pretty good stuff on here. Dance music wise, I think I bought it because it had Little Fluffy Clouds by The Orb on it, which I think is a banger. But it's also got Aphex Twin doing Window Liquor, Orbital Chime, Future Sound of London, Papua New Guinea, Jam and Spoon, Stella, etc, etc. So if you like dance music, it's pretty good. This one I picked up. I did have the original vinyl of this, which I think came on a double vinyl, System 7, which I think is Alex Patterson from The Orb and some others, but nearly went for a Burton there. Steve Hillage, yeah, Alex Patterson, Youth, Derek May, Paul Oakenfold. So, you know, pretty much a who's who of dance and ambient at that time. I remember this being really good when I had it first of all, but when I really got it on CD, and I was quite excited, shall we say, to get it. Was not as good as I remembered, but still pretty cool. This one, Sugar Hill Gang versus Grandmaster Flash, the greatest hits. An interesting curio. It's 2 CDs. One's Sugar Hill Gang, one is Grandmaster Flash. So disc 1, you've got obviously your Rapper's Delight and Apache and what have you from Sugar Hill Gang. And then disc 2, you've got White Line, Step Off, Beat Street, etc. Scorpio, which I love, The Message as well. Very, very old school hip hop, the birth of hip hop, if you like, but a cool album. And last thing I'm going to show today, this is a Spandau Ballet compilation just called The Story, and it is their greatest hits. and some others that I've never heard of. But yeah, so it starts off with To Cut a Long Story Short and Muscle Bound, Chant Number 1, etc. Then it goes through the True sort of album and the Parade album, which came after that. So Only When You Leave, I'll Fly For You. And then it goes through the Barricades, and then it's got some other ones at the end which I've never heard of. But yeah, I'm a casual fan of Spandau Ballet. Did like them back in the 80s, and probably like 50p or something. So I thought, why not? So cool. That is my quick run through of stuff for today. And I will be away next week, so there will probably be nothing until I get back, obviously, which will be a week or so, over a week and a half maybe. I've got a little bit of time off before I go back to work, but anyway, I digress. So hope you enjoyed the video. So thanks again for watching, really appreciate it. And we'll be up to 300 subscribers in a minute, so let's make that happen. That would be awesome. Catch you all next time. Take it steady. Thanks again for watching. Cheers.